everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Carla and I am the Stitchy Witch, and this is my channel. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for your support and for stopping by to catch up on all my stitchy updates. And if you're new, thank you, and I hope you will enjoy some of the things that you see here today. Today is going to be quite short and sweet because I don't have a lot of things to show you. And also I have had a little bit of a self-injury, but just to let you know that I haven't done that as much as I wanted to get done this month. I hoped that I could have. The reason that I'm filming in this particular setup is because I can't do the front-facing setup because of the injury I've had. And it's hard for me to lift up the projects. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I've got done this month. And to be honest, I'm quite proud of what I've got done. I have actually managed to get myself together, is probably the right word, and actually think about what it is I want to do. And when I did that, I kind of settled down on the fact that what I really want to do is work on a couple of pieces, 2 or 3. So today, well, I've actually worked on 4, so today I can show you 4 of them, but I really wanted to just work on 2 or 3 that I could get good progress on. And the first one I'm going to show you that I worked on this month mostly, this is the boxes I tend to use with all my threads and everything, which I like to organize per project. I have a stack of these. I don't like working from a master set because I don't use floss drops, because my cat destroys floss drops. So this keeps them safe, and it stops the hairballs getting into them and tangling up with them. So the first one I'm going to show you is my Heaven and Earth Designs Stitch Along Sal. I think it's called, yeah, Stitch Along. I started it in the beginning of January, obviously, because it goes on for an entire year. If you're not sure what it is, there is a group on Facebook. I don't think you can join it actually, unless you've actually entered the Stitch Along. But they probably will be running another one in 2027. So if you get into the Heaven and Earth Designs website, or even the Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook page, you can get information about when the next one will start. Quite possibly that will start coming out in October, November this year. And then they start revealing little bits of the picture so you can see what kind of charts that they're going to, put out there for the beginning of the SAL. So I chose Battle, of course. This is a Battle by, I can't remember the name of the artist of this. Oh, Daniel Eskridge, I think it is. I'll have to double check, but I think it's that. And it's a crop of a much larger piece. I think this is the right-hand side of a much larger piece. And I'm working it on 25 count, 2/110 stitch, and I've got loads of it done. Just bear with me a second, I'll get my little piece of paper, because here is where all my stats are. So this one, I have done a whopping 2,721 stitches this month, which is quite a lot for me because, like I said, I've had an injury in my shoulder and I haven't been able to stitch as much as I wanted to, but I got a good amount done. And I started coming down in a diagonal to finish up this right-hand side. I find that when I was doing cross country, I kind of like cross country. I've never been a huge fan of the gaps that you have to go back and do. But I found that I was in pain and I just didn't want to keep thinking and counting, and I was getting tired of it. So I just decided I'll just go down, and I wasn't doing like stitch by stitch like some people do. I was kind of doing cross country in the diagonal. So I'd pick a color and I'd work my way down, and then I'd park somewhere down here, and then I'd pick another color and work my way down. Obviously there's only 1 or 2 stitches up here. You just end the thread and carry on. As you can see, most of my work down here has been cross country, and I went all the way down and did the 310, this black color I did in the ship, a lot of the ship at the bottom. But I want to see more of the picture coming together at the moment, so that's why I decided to come back up to here and start going down in diagonal. So I'm probably going to go down, down, down until I get to here, and that'll be one complete diagonal row, and then I'll go back up and go back down to the bottom here. And then once I've done all this, if you can see here, all this entire section, I will have done the 6 pages that are required for you to receive as a reward all the charts that they gave out for the sale. So all the other options that people had, different charts, I would get them. I don't know if I'll stitch them, and it doesn't really matter. But for me, it'll be a sense of achievement. So I feel like, yeah, pull your finger out, girl. Just at least get that done, if nothing else. But I've actually quite enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I do, because when I see, I'm not a great person for stitch-alongs. When I see other people doing the same thing as me, I tend to feel like, oh, well, I've already seen what it looks like stitched. I have much interest in doing it now, because the picture starts to reveal itself. Although it's great to see what it's going to look like. And I like seeing what it looks like in other people's versions. Very similar, just differently stitched. Some people are doing complete cross-country, completion by colour, row by row, all that kind of stuff. And so it's interesting to see the variations of how people stitch it. But it always, I don't know, I tend to start off the year really excited about it, and then it kind of wanes off. And I think that's true to be said for quite a lot of people. They just, at some point halfway down the year, they just think, oh no, it's this one again. Oh no, it's this one again. Or do we just say that about all of them? We have, oh no, it's this one again. Yeah, that's probably why new starts are so common, because it's not this one again. It's a brand new one. Yes. Well, yeah, I haven't started a brand new one this week or in the last couple of weeks. So I did start one, a couple of weeks ago, which I did a video already on that. So also, I chose this needle minder, which I made myself, because I don't know whether you've got any idea about history, but Queen Elizabeth I, she sent the English army to defeat the Spanish Armada. So I thought it was very fitting, because she won the war. And if you go to any Tudor history channel and you type up the Armada, you'll see that there was a war and lots of battleships involved between Spain and England. And of course, England won the war. So there's a big story behind that. So I thought, well, that's a fitting one to do. So I thought, yes, she makes perfect sense for this particular design. I thought about doing a ship or something, but I thought, oh no, I want to do something that's kind of more historical, because I'm a huge history fan. So that's my progress in Battle. To tell me what you think. I think it's coming out beautifully. I do like the end result quite a lot. There's so much detail in here. It's unbelievable. You will not believe how much detail there is in here. And this is all plain sailing, excuse the pun. Plain sailing compared to the ship, which is, yes, a bit of a nightmare to say the least. So nearly 3,000 stitches done on this in July, and I'm pleased with that. And that's probably going to remain the focus again for August. The months are just passing by so quickly, I don't know which is which. So yeah, that's probably going to be the focus again for August, because I really do want to get them 6 pages done. And instead of faffing about trying to scramble around and do everything, I'm starting to hone it in a little bit more, and I feel a bit more relaxed about that. Less about trying to get stitches done everywhere, and more about, I'm not running out of time as far as I know. And if I do run out of time, hard luck, but I'm not really running out of time. There's no race, so there's no reason why I need to do stitches on everything. I can put some things aside, not UFO, but I can put things aside, and I do, for another day. Like for when I get a finish, or I get close to the end of one, that kind of thing. So yeah, if you don't see things for a while, don't just automatically assume that they're gone and then they're never coming back. That is not the case. Unless I say it's a UFO in my sort of end of month whip parade or whatever, unless I say that, it's generally not a UFO. Some things can be like a temporary UFO, if you know what I mean. But I think a lot of stitchers too have got stash that they haven't touched for a while, but it doesn't mean that they're never going to touch it again. Okay, with that said, let's see the next one I did work on this month, and it's my focus piece. And I'm sorry if you're bored of seeing it, but I am trying to get a move on and get this one finished well, not finished this year, but within the next 5 years. So this is called Riverwalk Charm, and it's by Ruane Manning. It's a Heaven and Earth design again, and it is the large version, I believe. And I have done quite a lot on this month. So what I've worked, I've done, again, going down in diagonal here, and I've decided I want to kind of go over all the little gaps. I had a lot of little gaps around here, which I wasn't really favouring. I just wanted to fill them in and get a nice, again, view of the piece. The piece is huge. It goes on forever. I've mostly finished first half of this. First half of this is completely, well, not completely. There's still lots to do at the bottom. But if you go back to, I'm not going to be peeling the whole thing out to show every single update, but if you go back to a previous video, you'll see that for most of them I do unveil the whole thing, but I don't want to keep taking it out of the frame every time I show it, because then it's a pain to have to get it all back again, tucked in and what have you. By the way, these little needle minders that I've made are available in my Etsy shop. If you want to take a peek at them, the link is in the description box down below. I really like this woman here because she just, that's me every morning when I wake up, try to read my book for half an hour. And yeah, she just makes me smile. Yeah, but she's available in my Etsy shop, and I've got a whole ton of others there as well. So just to let you know, because I know people do go in and like to see what new ones are there. Okay, so Riverwalk Charm, that's what I got done. As you can see, I'm finishing this little bit of diagonal here, and then I'm going to go back up, start another diagonal, and try to get this portion done and finished. Then I will go back down and maybe carry on with the umbrella that's down right in the left corner. There's an umbrella down here. I can't really get it into view. Yeah, and that is what I got done. So I got a total of, not as much as I wanted to, I got a total of 1,800 stitches on Riverwalk Charm, and it is, I don't know if I've got percentages written down here. It is at 59.37%, so I'm at the cusp of 60% finished on this one. I know some of you would think, oh gosh, you're on the home run now, you should just like get on with it and try and finish it, but I don't want to do that because I will burn out and I will then not want to look at it ever again. So I'd rather just keep it in focus, but keep switching it with other ones as well, so that I don't feel like, you know, I'm going to be stuck with this one forever. Because you know how long it takes to do them. I think once you become a real, you know, full coverage stitcher and you've got a lot of them on the go, you can't, it's really difficult to go back to just working on one. It's, for a lot of people, it's practically impossible. So we have to try to keep the motivation with the ones that we have. But, you know, we can still work on others, and that's probably the best compromise, I think. But again, yeah, I don't think anybody should be working on what they don't want to work on, of course. But I mean, I've put so much love into this. I started it in 2020. I think it was the end of 2020. And I did take a break for almost a year. I didn't, for some reason, it wasn't calling to me. And I thought it probably wasn't going to end up as part of my regular stitch, but then I picked it back up and I just carried on going because I love the effect and the tranquil, you know, atmosphere of this, the way it kind of reminds me of my time living in the Mediterranean. And all the buildings looked like that with shafts of sunlight hitting them. And everything was so bright, you know, but yeah, this is as far as I've got. And did I tell you I'm working 2/110 on 25 count? For some portion of it, I was doing 1/1 full cross. I don't know what got into my head, but when I start watching videos where everybody's doing 1/1, I feel like I should be doing the same. For some insane reason, and then I just start doing 1/1 and I think, you know what, you don't really like this, why are you doing it? I don't really mind the 1/1 full cross on the 25 count. It's just that I actually don't get to see the gaps as easily in the 1/1 as I do with the tent. With the tent stitching, I can see the gaps easier. I don't know why that is. And I don't find it hugely bulky. And if you want to see my back, because I don't carry very much. It's quite clean. It's not huge, massive, a load of carries from here to there. I just don't do that. So it does make it a lot easier to stitch it. And I find that I'm just faster as well with the tent. It just seems to be where I get my groove. So yeah, so I should stop fantasizing about doing 1/1 whenever I see it happening and just get on with my own method, which suits me best. So that is Riverwalk Charm. I feel like, oh my God, it feels like I've hardly done anything now, but I've actually done loads. But I just don't have like 50 whips to show you, which is basically the norm and probably more common and probably more trendy than what I'm doing. But hey, this is me. This is my stitching. I can only do what I want to do. Okay, so next one is, some of you will remember, is my favorite piece at the moment, and it's called Vatican Sunset. It is by, what's his name again? Thomas Kincade. How could I forget his name? Thomas Kincade, and I absolutely love his charts. I would probably do more of them, except I'm not going to do more of them right now. And this is, yeah, it's not a large version and it's not a small version. It's a requester size, which means somebody requested it in a certain size, and then Heaven and Earth made that size available for sale, and I nabbed it so that it was in between the mini and the large one. And here is where I have got to. There is another dead person minding my threads. And I'm just finding this stunning. So I've come along more on the top right. I don't know if I'm going to continue to the very end, because I'm liking that where I'm sticking to the areas where I've already got work done. It's expanding nicely. And I'm so in love with this sky. I really am. When you look at that from a distance, I don't know if you can see. No, I can't pull it back really. When you look at it from a distance, you actually see more detail. You see things in better detail, like the little lights that are coming out and little shapes and things like that. And you think, oh, look, there's like a little house down there. And you just see things when you look at it from a distance that probably aren't there, because it's just a bunch of, stitches in blacks, browns and dark greens and greys. But then your brain tries to make it into an object that you'd recognize. And yeah, it's really interesting. So I had finished this little dome here. And I was working to the left. And again, I'm trying to do the diagonal on the right side rather than going down this way, because I work my stitches bottom left to top right. And I thought, would it be easier then if I did that? My threads would have a little space between the stitches on the right. Not that it really matters, doesn't matter to me too much. But I thought, since I've done that, I might as well continue to the left here and go along. And we will get to squaring this bit off. And then I can decide, okay, are you going to now go down here and work across this way, or are you going to go up here and start working on that top right? And I haven't decided that either yet. I'm keen to get down. If I go up here, it's all going to be sky again, no question. If I continue down this way, I'm going to start getting into, let me push this up a bit more. If I continue down this way, I'm going to start getting into the cool part, the part where you've got all the lights and the little people are down here somewhere. I'm really looking forward to getting to that part, because that's the part that excites me. But I don't want to do all the good stuff and then come back and think, oh, I've got to go up and still do the sky, and I don't want to do it. So yeah, I'd rather that I just work on both sections, sky and the more interesting details, so that, not that this isn't interesting, it's beautiful, but yeah, it's just blocks of colors around. But if I alternate a little bit, then it becomes a bit more interesting. But I don't know yet. I'll see how I feel when I get to there. I think possibly I'm going to end up coming down to the bottom and going again to the right. So how many stitches did I get done? Not too many. I got 2,168 on this one. A little bit of filling in here, a little bit up here, a little bit here. You'd be surprised where those 2,000 stitches disappear to, and you just think, oh my goodness, you know, it doesn't look like I've done much. But when you compare it to previous videos or previous photos that you've taken, you can see that, yeah, I have actually done quite a bit. So that is Vatican Sunset, and I have to say I'm in love with this piece. I really am. I could stitch this one monogamously, but I feel like I should work a bit on the other ones, at least on the Battle and HAED. So Battle, Riverwalk Charm and Vatican Sunset are the 3 top stitches at the moment, unless I wake up one morning and I get some different kind of idea, which is highly possible. Oh, just dropped one of my needle minders. Okay, so I want to show you the other one I worked on this month before I hurt my shoulder. Is called, this was the new start that I started a couple of weeks ago, was it? Probably longer than that, but you know, time flies. The last video that I did, where I did a story, I was telling a story in the video, and this is the one I started because I was explaining about the image and what it means and the backstory of the illuminated manuscript and that kind of thing. You can still go and watch that video if you haven't seen it. I can put it in the link below, and it's called Amelia in the Garden, and it's a 14th century manuscript. It's taken from an illuminated manuscript and also a poem that was written back then. So yeah, it is a true historical piece actually, and I haven't got very far overseas because we haven't even done a month of this, but so far I have done 2,076 stitches, and I have got all the top left here. So this has only just started coming together, so we're starting to see a little bit of detail just here in this. I think it's because this will be like a frame, and this is like the wall or the castle that you see on the left of the picture, and it is a large version, so it's not small. And again, I'm doing it 2/110 on 25 count. I started trying to do this in 1/1, but again, it just didn't work for me, and it is massively confetti. I mean, the amount of different yellow colors, beige colors in this are just a nightmare. So I can only do about an hour or 2 of this, and then I have to put it aside because it's doing my head in. It's just crazy. I mean, just look how many threads I have got parked in this area alone. This one, this frame, can you see the detail? It is so detailed. There's like 20 colors just in there, and I don't know whether I'm putting you off or exciting you, because some people love confetti because of the fact that it keeps them occupied. Some people hate the block stitching. I kind of like the in-between, a bit of block stitching, a little bit of confetti, but I really love this piece. It's very traditional looking, and I love the backstory behind it about unrequited love. So I feel like, yeah, I do want to stitch it, but I'm going to be stitching it slowly because of the fact that, yeah, I have to sit there for 2 hours just to do one square. And even if I try to go cross country, I can't even really do that because there isn't enough stitches of the same color to do that. Everything is like crazy. So I might as well just go bit by bit, and then I don't make mistakes, because I started doing cross country around here and I was making mistakes because the colors, the threads were so similar in color. I was like, I think I've got the wrong color here. I've parked the wrong color there. And I thought, this isn't going to work. If it starts to get easier in other sections, I will do a bit more of the cross country. But if it doesn't, I'm going to have to stick to the diagonal just to make sure I don't make mistakes. And I'm fine with that. Except that it's not going to be, I'm not going to spend as many hours on it as I do with the other ones. I think that's just fair enough. That's okay. It'll just come along when it comes along, and I'll just keep plugging at it now and then. So that is all that I have today. And like I said, I'm sorry if it disappoints you. I don't have too many things to show you, but yeah, so a little bit of life update. I don't know what happened to me. I don't know whether it was something I did when I was doing housework or when I was lifting some things, but I seem to have pulled a muscle in my shoulder, my left side, or my shoulder blade, somewhere around there. And any little movement is really hurting. I mean, not painful enough to go rushing up to A&E or anything like that. And it's slightly easing off a little bit today. But as soon as I lift my arm up to stitch, or up, if I lift my arm up in the air, it starts to hurt. So my body's really saying, you need to, step back from doing whatever movement is causing irritation. And so I'm taking painkillers. I'm trying to rest my shoulder, and I'm trying to sit with a cushion propped under my arm so that I've got something to rest my arm on, so that it's not, waving around. And I'm purposely trying not to pick things up off the floor, because I'm always picking things up off the floor. It's not stuff that the cat's playing with. It's bits of dust or whatever that's dropped on the floor, cutlery that drops on the floor, the usual. I'm trying to stop doing that because it hurts. And it's frustrating. So I'm going to have to be a little bit patient. And if I do want to stitch, I'm going to have to do it, little tiny bit. And I'm maybe just going to have to wait till it heals a little bit more. If in a few days or a week or 2 weeks it doesn't seem to be getting better, I will contact my physio, because I have got a physio that I go to for my sciatica, which has actually improved quite a bit. Go figure. My sciatica improves, and then I get a problem on the upper side of my body. Great. It's not one thing, it's another. So that's really what's happened. So that is actually going to make an impact in the next month. So I'm hoping that, I don't know what's going to happen. So I can't say to you, I'm definitely going to be back in 2 weeks, or I'm going to be back in a month. I don't want to come back and say, oh, do you know what? I've done 50 stitches in the last couple of weeks, because that would be ridiculous. I'm just going to be patient and wait it out, look after myself. That's the only thing to be done, and stitch when I can, if I feel like it. And then we'll see how it goes. But anyway, enough of the blah, blah, blah. That is my stitching. Let me know what you think. What would you work on if you were doing these? Or what would you like to be working on? I would find that interesting. I know that some of you like some of the other pieces that I have, which I'm not showing today. They will come out eventually. I don't know when. I was asked if I'm going to participate in the sale next year, and I said probably not. And I've heard other floss tubers say this too, that it's probably not going to happen unless they see something that they really fall in love with straight away. And if that happens, then there's a possibility that they might do it. But I think, like me, a lot of people just want to get progress on what they've got. That's really just what it boils down to. But you know what we're like. We're easily led. We sniff something new, the shiny new piece of jewelry over there, and we all go running towards it. That's just kind of the way we roll. But anyway, guys, thank you for stopping by. Sorry it wasn't a huge long one. I appreciate that you spent a bit of time with me anyway. And pray God I will be able to come back soon again, and that I'll be able to stitch properly again soon. Okay, so take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you again shortly. Bye for now.